Hello, welcome Simon's Trading Channel. Thank you for joining me for another one of my videos. It is Wednesday, so a bit of midweek price action analysis. And yeah, it's been an interesting 48 hours. Bitcoin seems to have shrugged off most of the upside move that it made early on. But anyway, we'll get onto that price action analysis in a minute. I hope you're all well. And yes, thank you for joining me for another one of my videos. So may as well start off just by looking at the weekly, because it's midweek on CME, so Wednesday. And you can see that it's pretty much a carbon copy of last week at the moment. What I don't really want to see is a bearish engulfing, which indeed would occur if CME closes this weekly candle below the open of last week, which was around, just call it 94. It's probably like 93 and change, but somewhere between 93.5 and 94. So I don't want to see Bitcoin close on CME specifically at the end of the week. So not yet, but the end of the week below last week's open. So there'll be a bearish engulfing. That's generally not good news if you're looking for more upside. I think what the week to date, which clearly is only halfway through, but what this weekly, these weekly candles, this passage of time here on the weekly time frame, very reminiscent of here. And this was, as you remember, the midpoint of the overall move from, say mid-20s up to mid-60s. So it was a good 100% move with a stop around about 50%, several weeks to the side. And I do wonder if something similar is happening. I've been mentioning this for a few weeks now. I hope that it hasn't happened, but it is just sideways price action on this weekly time frame. Okay, now let's have a look at the daily. So this is the daily on Bitstamp, one of the perpetual exchanges, and it's still sideways. There was a chance on Monday that the volatility was going to expand to the upside on the daily time frame, but it hasn't. And Bitcoin's just literally pretty much pulled back the whole of this move up here, which took a week, I think, more or less a week, and it's pulled it all back in 2 days. However, the volatility on the daily is still contracting. There is no meaningful expansion of volatility. But as I always say, when you're in a low volatile situation or lower volatile situation, like the daily is here, when the price is below the midpoint of the Bollinger Band, if volatility expansion occurs, it's more likely that that move will be to the downside. So I'm not sure I subscribe to that as the most likely move. To me, this is just still sideways consolidation on this daily time frame. Yeah, until volatility expands either to the upside or the downside, that's all it is. Now, 4 hour. So here we are, this is the 4 hour. And you can see the nicely trending downside move, followed by some bouncing around up against support, followed by a nicely trending upside move. The upside move got above this high, which is the point at which it was all looking quite good, but then it failed and indeed started to close back below the midpoint of the Bollinger Band, all in one fell swoop really on that 4 hour candle there. That at the very least signified some more consolidation, but then indeed there was expansion to the downside. It has bounced rather heavily off this support coming in around 92, but momentum on the 4 hour is now definitely to the downside, and this would be the fifth knock on the door. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it would be the sixth knock on the door of this 92-ish, 91, 92-ish area of support. Will it be broken this time? And will there be a move back down to the mid-80s? If there was, that would make that look even more like this move here, particularly this section where it broke down just below the support before then picking up and completing the rest of the impulsive move to the upside. I don't know if that's going to happen. Nobody does because no one can predict the future. But right now, 4-hour momentum's to the downside. You can see that the MACD has crossed the zero line and will remain red as long as Bitcoin is closing 4 hours below 97. So it's got a fair bit of work to do. It's effectively got to turn right around and get pretty much to the 20 SMA back to the midpoint. Forgot to check in on momentum on the daily. You can see it is a bit flippy floppy around the zero line. I think it's just about above the zero line, but it's getting very close to crossing below and shift momentum back to the downside. And the number for that is about 93. So daily closure below 93, momentum on the daily to the downside, along with what would be continuation of momentum on the 4-hour to the downside. So that really means that the next move of significance is likely to be to the downside. The weekly, the Bollinger Band is no great shakes, right? Just like on CME, this to me is just sideways price action. And until Bitcoin proves otherwise, that's what it's going to be. You can see what a difference, though, that your time frame makes, right? Because that's the weekly time frame over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, really. And then if you swap it for a 4-hour over the same time frame, it looks very choppy. But it boils down to the same thing, with a range low effectively at 90K. That's different on the different time frames, but effectively somewhere between 90 and 92, and a range high pretty much coming in around that 103 region, higher-ish time frames. Right, there we are. There's a price action analysis. So Bitcoin bounces a bit from where it is now. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for more of the same. Take care. Bye-bye.